From yesterday's session, I missed one point. You can note this down. This one. Yes, good. You can note down this point. I missed this point. Operation Kaveri. So many Indians have been rescued. We have used Indian Air Force aircrafts. We have used Navy ships also. We have used. In Sudan, you can add Operation Kaveri. I think just write one sentence. Don't draw the picture here. Huh? Why are you taking so much time? Operation Kaveri to rescue Indians from Sudan. That's it. Finish. They might be asking Operation Kaveri. Okay. It is a negotiation held between Karnataka government and Tamil Nadu government for sharing the waters. Like that, they'll be giving. Okay. It is to clean the water of Kaveri and make it equivalent to Ganga. Like that. Such kind of questions, options they'll be giving. So don't get confused. Huh? Okay, today we're discussing new continent, not newly formed. Okay. Yesterday we have discussed Africa. So today we'll be discussing Europe. See, if at all they'll be asking mapping questions, no? They'll be asking from Asia. Okay, last year, the more questions have been asked from Africa because Africa is into numerous conflicts. Okay, now earlier Europe was not into any conflict. Okay, thanks to USA and NATO, now Europe is also into conflict. It's the truth, right? So that's why, we'll be focusing on the locations in Europe as well. Okay, and from South America also will be having a lot of, not lot, some few locations you'll have from South America as well. Okay, the first importance will be given to Asia. In Asia, West Asia. Okay, you call it Middle East also. The second importance should be given to Africa. Third is Europe. Fourth, South America. Okay, North America, ignore. Australia, completely ignore. Okay, the locations won't be asked from that because hardly anything is of importance. Okay, so now we'll be discussing Europe. There's so many locations in Asia. I'll be discussing that at the end. I'll not be discussing locations of India because you are all Indians, you are staying here, right? And extremely patriotic people you are. You must be knowing everything about your country, right? Chalo. Europe. Okay, I'll not be telling how much population. Okay, we'll discuss some population also. It has 51 sovereign countries. Sovereign countries. I'll also open your atlas and mark some countries which are extremely small. Okay. And some of the smallest countries of Europe are Smallest countries of Europe. Okay, you guys are opening Atlas. Don't do that. Okay, it'll take a lot of time. What we'll do is that, when you open the Atlas, you go to glossary at the end and see smallest countries in Europe. You'll not find that keyword after searching 1,000 words. Again, you'll ask me, sir, where is it? Where is it? But don't do that. You can do that later, huh? Anyways, the map is here. That's why I'm putting a lot of efforts to put map here. Okay. So write down the names here. Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein. Country's name. It's not like, lynching is their hobby. Okay. San Marino. San Marino is a country's name. Vatican. Vatican. Monaco. Monaco. Okay. So these four are not that important. Okay. If you look in the recent context, Andorra is important. Andorra. Andorra is important because of Catalonian issue. We'll discuss later what is Catalonia. The bracket you can write is important because of Catalonian issue. Later we'll discuss what is Catalonia. And next you have Malta in the sea here. Malta. And Malta is important because of refugee crisis. So these are the smallest countries of Europe. Okay. I hope you can draw the rough diagrams of Europe, right? So draw rough outline of Europe. Okay. Now we'll discuss the peninsulas of Europe. Give a heading. Peninsulas of Europe. So draw a rough diagram of Europe. So yesterday I've shown you how to draw this part, Africa, and for Europe, take care of these parts. So wherever you'll be having peninsula, okay, you should be focusing on that. Okay. Now first, focus on this peninsula. You can draw it this way, then take a turn. Okay, and then draw Jutland Peninsula, and then make a turn like this. For authenticity, you can draw these two. Doesn't matter. Okay. And go here. You have Italian Peninsula here, Greek Peninsula, bus. That's it. Okay. So that's why peninsulas becomes very important here. So here you have a peninsula. This is called as Iberian Peninsula. So Denmark and part of Germany. This is called as Jutland. Okay. Not Jetland. Jets are in India. Jet 6, right? Jet 6, right? Punjab, they're part of Haryana also. Okay. If they don't like anyone, they slap them in the airport. Okay. So this is Scandinavian Peninsula. Scandinavian Peninsula. And here you have Italian Peninsula. Italian Peninsula. And one more peninsula, okay, which is geopolitically also very important. Okay. This is Balkan Peninsula. Balkan. So these are the major peninsulas of Europe. So practice such kind of rough diagrams, because anyways in the mains examination also, we'll be getting a lot of context where you have to draw the maps. Not only in geography, but also in IR and all. Ron? Oh. They will not be asking this, but anyways, you note down. Balkan Peninsula has Spain and Portugal. Sorry, Iberian Peninsula has Spain and Portugal. Jutland Peninsula. Jutland. Majorly Denmark also has Germany. Majorly Denmark also has Germany. Now, Balkan Peninsula has many countries. Okay, Balkan Peninsula. You can write erstwhile Yugoslavia. Later on, we'll discuss, which all countries will part of Yugoslavia. Erstwhile Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia. Albania. Albania. Greece. Greece. Romania. Bulgaria. So these are the major countries. Okay, later on we'll discuss about Yugoslavia. Okay. So now next let's discuss the important mountain ranges. Again, draw the rough diagram of Europe, mark the mountains. Important mountain ranges of Europe. I'll be drawing, you also draw simultaneously. The strike of the mountain is also important. The strike means the orientation, right? These kind of keywords in the margins. Tron, make it fast. So here's a small mountain, not that important. Since Russia-Ukraine war is important, this also becomes important. Balkans, mostly in Bulgaria. See, other small mountains here and there you can ignore. Okay. First, write down Ural. Ural Mountains. See, regarding the mountain formation, you have the young mountain formation, young whole mountain formation. So this is around 65 million years old, starting from here. So before this, there was a mountain formation. This is called as Caledonian, Hercynian mountain orogeny. In the class also, we have discussed which all mountains belong to this. Okay. Comparatively older fold mountains that belong to this category. So if you're using this word in the examination, great. Or else say that it's an old fold mountain if you can't remember this name. Okay. I don't first. Okay, these mountains have been formed, okay, somewhere between, 250 to 400 million years old. Okay. Ural belong to Caledonian, Hercynian mountain origin. It acts as a boundary between the Europe and Asia. Europe and Asia. Now, Russia is present on this side. Russia is present on the other side also. Both the sides of Ural. So the eastern part of the Ural, this entire region is called as Siberia. We'll come across this, okay, in geography of Asia also. Anyways, you write down here also. East of Ural is Siberia. Or the Asian part, bolo, poor part bolo, kuch bhi, same, both same. Asian part or poor part of Russia is on east of Ural. Most of the population concentration and development of Russia is in the European side. Okay, sorry. Okay, before this now, okay, before mountains, you can write the population dynamics of the Europe population dynamics. So Europe has population of around 750 million. 750 million means around 75 crore. population, okay, much less than India, right? But the growth rate is less than 0.5%. This is annual growth rate. Okay, it is very less. Okay, and some countries like Germany, have a negative growth rate. Have a negative growth rate. See, yesterday we have seen that the growth rate of Africa is on 2.5. Okay, a countries like Germany, which is highly developed, okay, has a negative growth rate. So, do you see any correspondence between the growth rate and development? If you are highly developed, the growth rate will be low. If you are less developed, the growth rate will be high. Okay, can we say that even in India, the poor families have higher population, rich families have lesser population, right? So the growth rate of population is synonymous with the development. Okay, keep this in mind. You can write a statement there. And this is called as demographic transition theory. This theory is called as demographic transition theory. So initially you'll be having very high growth rate and very high death rate. Okay, growth rate I'm denoting with green. Once you're a little bit developed, okay, the growth rate will become stagnant. And afterwards, the growth rate will fall. And then later on, it will be stable to some extent. Later on, it can fall also. Okay, this is the growth rate. So initially, it will be fluctuating. Okay, so this stage we can call it as primitive stage, tribal stage. Okay, so this stage would be your industrial growth stage. Industrial growth stage. Okay, so this stage would be developing and developed, and this will be highly developed. So these are the growth rates. Now here we can say Africa. You can plot this Africa somewhere here on the graph. Africa here. Okay, where would be India? India has come somewhere here. This is India. Okay, China is somewhere the inflection point here. China. Okay, so Europe and North America is somewhere here. And here at the bottom, okay, in the negative phase, you have countries like Japan, Germany. So this is called as the demographic transition theory. Okay, developing and developed countries. Now, okay, this is based on the history of various countries. That's why it is also called as historical interpretation. Now, what kind of clues India can get here? Do you think, we should be coming up with policy for reducing population? No, because some states have already come. Okay, they're putting a rope on the population growth rate. Do you think we should do? No. Rather, what we should be doing? We should skill them. We should educate them, give them good health. And also we realize that in the countries like Japan and Germany, okay, there is the dearth of workforce. And India has excessive, we can't say workforce, we have excessive population in demographic dividend. So what we can do? We should be training them and sending them to other countries. This is what we should be doing. export population. So that's why we should be, having pacts with these countries. So anybody who has studied in KV here, Kendriya Vidyalaya, okay, you had studied German, you had an option. Because earlier in KVs, okay, the German language was introduced in the schools. So that, okay, when you're learning German, there's a dearth of workforce in German. Okay, if you're training in German, you can send your population over there. So in your schools, we should be introducing such kind of language where there is a dearth of workforce. So that should be the future policy. But now German has been removed. Instead of that, Hindi has come. Kya karoge? Sanskrit. Yeah, what will you do? Language, okay, should also be for opportunity, right? Why are we, learning English, speaking in English? Why? Because it's a language of opportunity. We start, teaching Hindi or learning Hindi. Hindi is such a, it's a, like, 100-year-old language. It's such a beautiful, romantic language. It will start producing so many children. Look at the Hindi speaking belt of India. High TFR. Right? But also educate them, skill them, and send them abroad. Take the revenge. They have come to India, looted India, go there and earn their money. Huh? Okay.
So why is there a negative growth rate for these super developed companies?
Okay, she is asking why there is a negative growth rate. Okay, there are so many reasons behind this. I'm doing mapping part, but I can tell you in short. See, when there is high development, okay, the woman will be educated more. If woman is educated more, do you think she'll marry early? She'll not marry early. Okay, she'll be having a less reproductive lifespan. And when she is educated, okay, she is earning, okay, education about job to milega, right? So after job, do you think she will have a choice now whether to give birth to a child or not give birth to a child? Okay. Now you also have, okay, choice of marriage, whether to marry or not to marry. Otherwise, for women, okay, it becomes universal obligation to marry. Yes, Devki, right? Now, if you're becoming collector or forest service officer, you can tell your parents, I will not marry. Go, you go away. You can say that. Right? So you'll be having a say in your marriage, children, etc. And more the society is developed, okay, nuclear families will be developed more. When you have more nuclearization of the families. So earlier when you had a joint family, okay, means, amma, appa, okay, dada, dadi, nana, nani. So when you produce a children, when a couple produces a children, okay, all these, elderly people used to take care of your children. Okay. Now, urbanization is increasing. When urbanization increases, wife and husband both have to work, right? Because the cost of living is very high. Earlier, okay, children used to, okay, earn wages to your family. They used to go for work, labor work whole day. Okay, they used to earn, bread and butter. But no, children are very expensive. Okay, you have to like educate children. School fees are very high. Okay, again, okay, you have to provide good clothes to children. Okay, again, rowing it, okay, you have to buy something, entertain children. The children are expensive. So that's why both wife and husband have to work outside home. So that's why they'll produce less children inside the home, right? So these are the various obligations. Okay. So that's why, okay, when the society is highly developed, okay, and moreover, okay, when you don't have this, family support, okay, when children are very expensive, so gradually, like in the Western countries, they don't marry at all. And when women, okay, have more say, okay, of course, man also has more say, but again, okay, rate of divorces are also very high. Okay, I shouldn't be saying this, but again, somebody said it from the classroom. Okay, so the rate of divorce is also very high. Okay, and recently, okay, you've seen case of Hardik Pandya, right? What happened? If you are getting divorced, okay, you have to pay a lot of money in alimony also. So that's why in the foreign countries, okay, why this, paying alimony and all, they think that, shadi na karo, live in mein raho, okay, bache mat karo. I say, okay, that's why the population reduces as the development increases. Okay, the population will peak for a certain point of time, then afterwards the population will drop. Okay, so this has been a history of every country, and to India also the same thing will happen. Okay, so this you'll study, okay, when you do your social, what do you call, society or something. Okay, go karoge, ye sab karoge. Okay, understood? I told you in short. Just coming back to the mapping portion. Okay, again, but remember this point. Okay, this kind of things you should be writing. So we are discussing Urals, right? So next is Scandinavian mountains. Here you have Scandinavian mountains. They also belong to Caledonian, Hercynian, orogeny. The rocks in Scandinavia are same as the rocks in Appalachians. Appalachians are located here in USA. So this is where you have Appalachians, and this is where you have Scandinavia. So how come these two rocks are same? Because earlier they were part of the same landmass called as Laurasia. You can, because this you have studied in continental drift, Wegener. Bracket you can write down, because earlier they were the part of same landmass. Now here, Norway, Sweden, Finland. They have Scandinavian rocks. Rock structure is same. But when we talk about Scandinavian culture, it is Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. So this is the same cultural region. The culture of Finland is different from the culture of Sweden. Don't know like the Finnish culture is similar to the Russian culture because you have a divide here, and this divide is called as Gulf of Bothnia. This divide, and this is the mountainous part, icy part. So hardly there was any exchange between the people. Okay, that's why. So don't get confused between Scandinavian rock structure and Scandinavian culture. Write down this. The Scandinavian rocks are in Norway, Sweden, Finland. Norway, Sweden, Finland. Finnish culture is similar to, I'm not saying same, it's similar to Russian. Scandinavian culture. Or Scandinavian countries are Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Norway, Sweden, Denmark. Okay. Now what separates, okay, Sweden from Finland? Gulf of Bothnia. The Gulf of Bothnia acts as a divide. Gulf of Bothnia. B-O-T-H-N-I-A. B-O-T-H-N-I-A. Bothnia. Again, Gulf of Bothnia becomes very important this year because Finland, okay, has joined NATO, and Sweden also recently joined NATO. Both recently joined NATO. Sweden and Finland. Both have recently joined NATO. That's separated by Gulf of Bothnia. That's why it's very important. And don't get confused with Nordic countries or Nordics. So Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland. These are called as Nordics. Greenland, Iceland, Norway, Sweden, Finland. Basically, these are the countries surrounding Arctic. Countries surrounding Arctic. They're called as Nordics. Okay, we're still discussing mountains. Since the context has come, I told you about the rocks. Okay. Next, here you have Carpathian Mountains. So I hope you can see these mountains over here, right? So these are the Carpathian Mountains. Carpathians. The eastern point, sorry, the western point, western part is also called as Tatra. Western part is also called as Tatra. Tatra is important because, okay, we import a lot of trucks of Tatra, not Tata. Import trucks for defense purposes from Czech Republic. From Czech Republic, we import Tatra trucks for defense purposes. Because in examination, sometimes they'll be giving some defense equipments. Which country? Match the following. It belongs to Czech Republic. Now here, the Carpathians are also acting as the cultural divide, because the Muslims who are come, okay, they could not cross this Carpathians and go on the other side. You'll find a Muslim population, okay, on this side of the Carpathians, not on the other side. Therefore, they also act as cultural divide. The Carpathians act as cultural divide. Beyond Carpathians, the Muslim population is extremely low. See, look at the orientation or strike of these Carpathians. They're extending till here also like this. Do you think any feature located in between will have rainfall? It will be having very less rainfall. This is where you have the Pustas grassland. Because when you have a low rainfall, you'll be having grasslands. Draw the orientation of Carpathian, and in between you draw Pustas. So it's a rain shadow region. Draw the orientation of strike of the mountain. So Pustas creates a rain shadow region. Rain shadow region. Sorry, Carpathians create rain shadow region. That is the Pustas grassland. It's a temperate grassland. So next is the Alps here. So this is the Alps. Alps, they are the young fold mountains. Alps are young fold mountains. तुम ना किसी के बाजू में बैठो, sit beside someone, shift two places there. Alps are the young fold mountains. And Mount Blanc is the highest peak of Alps. Okay. And in the northern side of this, mountains, you also have a wind called as warm wind. What is that? Katabatic wind, which is on the northern side of the Alps. Fawn. Okay, in local winds, you have done this. All right, number fawn. The fawn is in the north of Alps. Done. Next, you have Pennines. Pennines in Europe. Pennines in Europe. Okay. Pennines are rich in coal and also iron ore. Unlike Europe, unlike rest of the Europe, coal and iron ore are found at one location. Found at one location in England. Therefore, the Industrial Revolution, one of the reasons for starting of the Industrial Revolution, okay, Industrial Revolution first started in England. Sorry, in Europe. First started in England, in Europe. Because in rest of the Europe, okay, the coal is found at one place, iron is found at the other place. Okay. So that's why Industrial Revolution was difficult. Of course, there are other factors also, which we'll be studying in world history. Okay. This is about Pennines. Next, you have a mountain called as Pyrenees here. Pyrenees. They act as a natural boundary between Spain and France. Again, this is important for one more reason. In the context of Andorra, I spoke about the province called as Catalonia. So Catalonia is located near Pyrenees. Later on, we'll discuss Catalonia, but write a linkage also here. Because they might be giving a question, okay, regarding Catalonia, and they'll be giving you 4 or 5 points, in which Pyrenees will also be there. So Catalonia, context of Catalonia, remember this. Okay. Next, rest of the mountains are not important. Next, you have this Dinarics. Again, as far as your state is concerned, Karnataka is concerned, this becomes important. Dinarics. Rather, I'll draw a bigger map here. Now, India has different races, but 3 small races, okay, which have settled in India. Okay, one is Kashmiris. Okay, second, okay, you have this Kurgis. Okay, and you have this Parsis. Okay, here around Bombay and Gujarat. So these are the 3 ethnic groups who are coming to India even before Indo-Aryans. Okay, 3 groups have been settled, and these three groups are named after different mountains. So here you have a country called as Armenia. So from Armenia, the Kashmiris have come. If you look at the genetic structure of both, okay, it will be the same. That's why this is called as, they are called as Armenoids. Okay. Now the Parsis, of this Bombay region and Gujarat region, okay, they are from, I come from Alps, this region. That's why they are also called as Alpinoids. And you have Dinaric mountains here. So from here the Kyrgyz have come. That's why they are also called as Dinarics. So these are the three sub-races in India. And they are named after the mountains. That's why in this context, Dinarics becomes very important. That's why in Karnataka, if you see the Kyrgyz, okay, they have a little bit of different genetic makeup, right? And for this online students, if you are not from Karnataka, if you don't know, I'll tell some names. Rashmika Mandana, Pooja Hegde, Shilpa Shetty, okay? Mangalore, but they have lineage here, right? So don't you think, they look different from rest of the Kannadigas? Alag dikhte hai na? No. Basically, for rest of the Indians, because they think that, all the South India is Kala, okay? Right? So, यहाँ पे, थोड़ा genetic makeup different है. So that's why you have a lot of endogamy, okay, among the Kyrgyz. Okay, खुद में शादी करते हैं. Okay, they don't marry outside. Right? Is it true or not? Okay, I have seen that in Arjun Reddy movie. Okay? So he'll be saying that Namma Jati or something he'll be saying, no? What is your Jati, caste, etc. Will not marry you. Okay. So they're not, class differences over there. They're caste difference because these people believe in endogamy. They marry within themselves because they have that pride that, we are, our genetic makeup is different. Okay, we are come from different place. Hum gore hai, kale logo se shaadi nahi karenge. Such kind of superiority complex is there. Okay. So that's why Dinarics, okay, become important, especially, okay, with respect to your state. You believe it or not, it is written in textbooks. This is, especially if you're studying anthropology, as an optional subject, okay, you'll see R.C. Guha classification, not R.C. Guha, okay, Guha classification of, racial traits in India. They will study that. Okay. Done. So next, very important mountain range, which is also into conflicts. Later on, we'll study this when we study Asia's geography. Okay. This is called as Caucasus. And the name of this mountain range is also highly racial in nature. Because on the northern side of it, you have Caucasoid race, that is basically Gorillo. So that's why this mountain is called as Caucasus. And below Caucasus, you have, what do you have here? Sunna. Not Telugu Sunna. Okay. And the other side of this, what do you have? Christianity. Okay. Write out one sentence. That Caucasus is not just an ethnic, linguistic, divide. It is also a racial divide. Racial divide. Racial and religious divide is also a racial and religious divide. In bracket, you can write, therefore, numerous problems in Georgia, Armenia, Azerbaijan. These will be studying in Asian geography. Therefore, numerous conflicts in Asia, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia. So between which two seas it is located? Okay, Black Sea. Located between Black Sea and Caspian Sea. Again, Caspian Sea is in the news because Caspian Sea is drying up. Water level in the Caspian Sea is reducing. It's not a sea, it's actually a lake. It's a misnomer. The Caspian is drying up. Again, why it is drying up? Climate change. If you don't know any answer, climate change. Okay, it has Mount Elbrus. Mount Elbrus, which is also the highest point. Also the highest point of Europe. So this is a short note on the mountains of Europe. Okay, beyond this, there's so many points here and there. Okay, given in the map pointing. Okay, what text here and there, ignore until and unless something is in the news. Okay, don't care about it. Or historically, it is of very high importance. Because of that, okay, the course of the history of a country has changed. Okay, only study those kind of points. Now, next is the rivers of Europe. And you should be drawing these rivers. I hope you can see them. Of all this is important. And these are important because of Russia-Ukraine war. Rest is your choice. You can remember or you can ignore also. And this is also a bit important because of, again, Russia-Ukraine war. So draw a rough map and draw these rivers. And draw these two seas also, the Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. Now here, okay, we'll study a concept, okay, which is also related to India. Okay, you must have come across a government program called as Gati Shakti, something of that sort. So we'll relate Gati Shakti with the rivers of the Europe. So what we can learn from them? Gati means speed. Shakti means power. Vande Bharat, Vande Bharat, the train. It is, it was popularized as, one of the most advanced technological advancements of India, right? Okay, a glass train, well polished train. It was shown as an epitome of development, and people really believed it. भाई ट्रेन ही तो है ना. Okay, it hit a cow. अच्छा. Oh, poor train. You're saying that the cow is the reason, okay, behind derailing development in India. What we should do with the cows then? What? Sharik, क्या करें? Drawn? So before telling you the points about these rivers, okay, since you have drawn the map of all these rivers, I'll tell you one point. So what they have done is that the Europe, it has interconnected all these rivers. Interconnected. So that there is seamless navigation. So we can go into the sea. See, if you're connecting this, say, can you connect Caspian, okay, and the Black Sea? And you have the river Volga here. From Volga, okay, Volga is coming here. From here, you have one more connection. You can enter into Baltic. Okay, so because of this seamless connection, okay, the transportation cost in Europe is very low. Because when you're traveling on the road, there's high amount of friction. And when you travel on the water, okay, the friction is less. So that's why the fuel consumption is also less. Okay, so that's why transportation cost. Basically, we call it as logistic cost also. The logistic cost is very low. For example, if you're producing any good in India, no, okay, and you want to export this good. Now guess, okay, what is the logistics cost? Means transportation cost for producing good. How much percentage? For example, okay, yeah, the cost of production is 100 rupees. So how much is the cost of logistics here? 14 around. On average, 14% Now guess how much is in China? Because we have to compare with China. Because China has export competitiveness. Okay, China has 3 to 7%, and Europe has around 3%. So very less. Means that the logistics have been optimized. So one of the major pillars of this Gati Shakti program is to reduce the logistics cost at least to 7%, so that India will increase its competitiveness, export competitiveness. Okay, so again, you should be linking this and that. Okay, so this kind of analysis, will pay you good marks in UPSC. Next point I can write down. The reverse. Again, usually what candidates mug up is that, okay, this river, okay, what is the origin of this river? What is the end of this river? Any important city on this river? UPSC is not interested. Until and unless, okay, it is in the news for some reason. Okay, don't mug up those such kind of things. So that is, archaic way of preparation. So this is how, okay, you should be analyzing the things and linking it with India, what we can learn from there. So that is how, if we are, writing these kind of points in the means, you'll be fetching more marks. Okay, I don't. What you're written? The rivers in Europe are interconnected. By a network of canals. Network of canals. So that there is seamless navigation. All across the Europe. All across the Europe. This will reduce the logistics cost and increase export competitiveness. Okay, drag it and write. India is trying to do the same in Gati Shakti program. At present, it is around 14%. Again, regarding this thing, one more point. See, whenever you order something on the Amazon, okay, what comes there? Shipping address. Because transportation all over the world is through shipping. Because ship is the cheapest way of transport. And roadways, okay, only for the lesser distances it will be used. Below 200 kilometers, okay, or below, at max below 500 kilometers. If you have to transport something, then only the roadways will be used. So maximum cargo transport all over the world, it takes place on the water. Okay. But in India, okay, now guess, okay, how much we transport through the road? 86%. You can write down this one. 86% of cargo in India is through roadways. Now, if you see India, okay, India has one of the world's largest road densities. China से भी ज़्यादा है, China से ज़्यादा है India का. Don't you think why China didn't do that? Because China has focused more on this public transportation, freight corridors it has built. Okay, if you're building freight corridors, means railway corridor. Okay, do you think we need so many roadways? Nowadays, a lot of expressways are being built. Okay, so for example, you have an option of going by a train. Okay, and you have a option of going by a road. Okay, if the train is good, okay, which one will prefer? Train will prefer. Okay, by focusing excessively on the roadways, so what will happen? The private vehicle consumption will be increasing. The private vehicles will be bought more. So because of that, okay, environment pollution will also happen. And also, okay, GDP will increase, right? Because it will become consumption driven, right? You can also collect a lot of toll, okay? So this is a different side of the story, but rather we should be focusing more on public infrastructure within the city also, okay? We should be focusing on more public infrastructure, public transport. Now you make a lot of hue and cry, okay? When a free, okay, bus transport is given to certain citizens, okay? Now, how much you'll be saving on that in the entire year? Maybe 200, 300 crore, okay? Now, if the same, okay, number of people, if they're using, okay, other modes of the transport, now calculate the greenhouse gas emissions, right? So that's why, okay, we should be encouraging more such kind of transport, okay? So that will also help us, okay, in reducing the greenhouse gas emissions, okay, help us grow sustainably, right? Okay. Now, some of the examples of these linkages are, what you write down, this Don Volga linkage. Example, Don and Volga. Now look at the plan here. So you have the Volga river here, going till here, and here you have the Don river. Don, and this is Volga. Now, if you connect these two, you'll have a seamless, okay, communication with the Caspian, with the Black Sea, and Volga is in turn connected to Baltic also. Baltic also is connected. So from Caspian, you go to Baltic. From Caspian, you can enter into Europe. Okay, this is, you can draw this fast, make it fast. Don Volga linkage. Write down Caspian also, Caspian and Black Sea. Because building a road infrastructure is very difficult. You have to clear, okay, the forests. You have to to break the mountains, and then carve a road. The friction is high, pollution is high. It connects Caspian with Baltic and Black Sea. Connects Caspian with Baltic and Black Sea. Road, river. Again, environmental laws are very strict over there in Europe, unlike India. Right? And Volga is the longest river of Europe. Volga is the longest river of Europe. So next such linkage is, this is Volga and Baltic Sea linkage. Okay. Anyways, you have drawn this. So next is White Sea, Baltic Sea linkage. Draw these two lakes. These two lakes are very important. This is the first largest lake of Europe, and this is the second largest lake of Europe. This is the first largest lake of Europe, and this is second largest lake of Europe. And along the lakes, this connection has been made between White Sea and the Baltic Sea. This is the Baltic Sea. This is White Sea, and White Sea further connects to Arctic also. So basically, it's an Arctic-Baltic route. And the city here becomes very important, St. Petersburg. Note on the city also. So they are using the natural water bodies like rivers and lakes for connectivity. In between, they'll be digging small canals. Basically, it is not just a map pointing. Okay, you can use this analysis for the mains also. From that perspective, I'm teaching you all these things. For example, okay, waterways are very important, okay, paramount for improving logistics sector in India, like that they're asking questions. You can use such kind of examples. From a prelims point of view, these become important. These two lakes. This is very slow, right? Cow has hit me. A cow hit me. Done? Now coming back to next important river of Europe, that is Danube. Danube River. Now they will ask you from which all countries it will be passing. Because one of the mouths of Danube is near Ukraine also. Okay. And Russia has attacked ports of Ukraine, okay, along the mouth of Danube. So in that context, Danube becomes very important. Otherwise, also Danube is important. Okay. Write down Danube. Please write the context also. Don't learn things blindly. It should become a habit for you. Why, what, where, how? This kind of questions you should be posing for yourself. And there's a difference between UPSC preparation and other examination preparation. In other examination, what if you know, fine, you will qualify. In UPSC, how, where, why, what, etc. All the questions you should be asking. So what is not that important in UPSC? Okay, how, why, they are more important. Danube, second largest in Europe. Origin is Black Forest. I guess you know what is Black Forest. Okay, origin is Black Forest. Okay, it runs through 10 countries. 10 countries. And Nile is 11. in bracket you can have Nile, 11 countries. It's also called as international waterway. International waterway because it connects many countries. Connects many countries. Since, because of this Ukraine-Russia war, they might ask, from which all countries the Danube will be passing. So if you can draw, that would be great, but you won't be able to draw. I'll tell you the names. Okay. Germany, you can see here. Germany. Austria. Slovakia. Hungary. Croatia. Serbia. Romania. Bulgaria. Okay. Moldova, important. Moldova is important. Put a star mark there. And Ukraine. 10 have come? How many have come? 10, right? Okay, fine. So here you remember, okay, and the mouth is in Romania. Mouth of the river is in majorly in Romania. Because of the crisis now, okay, Romania, okay, got into the picture. It has helped Ukraine in supply of the grains. So that's why it's important. Okay, remember Romania. Later on, we'll discuss about this in detail. Okay, you think there's a lot of detailing here itself, huh? We'll discuss in more detail. Okay. Next, okay, you have the Ural River. Okay, you can ignore, no problem. Okay, Dnieper River also will discuss in the context of Russia, Ukraine. Okay, write down 2, 3 facts about Dnieper. D-N-E-I-P-E-R, Dnieper. And remember, okay, all the rivers, okay, which are passing through Ukraine, they have D. Danube, okay, Dniester, Dnieper, Don, Donetsk, all these. Okay, this can be a cheat code, huh? Dnieper. Okay. It's the longest river in Ukraine and Belarus. Ukraine and Belarus. And here you have drawn this river Don, right? So this is called as Sea of Azov. That's why it's important. River Don is draining in Sea of Azov. AZOV. Sea of Azov. And this region is rich in coal. Region is rich in coal. So Rhine River you have done already. So this is in the north of Europe. Rhine River. Okay. So Rhine River, it forms a border between, okay, the France, Germany, goes through Germany and also goes through Netherlands. Okay. Right on. Rhine. Important waterway. Important waterway. Rich in coal. Therefore, it is highly industrialized. Therefore, it is highly industrialized. Other rivers you can ignore. Okay. You have done the waterways, rivers are over, mountains are over. So let us discuss region by region here. Let us discuss the Greece and Turkey relations. Greece and Turkey. Okay. I can see here this is Turkey and this is Greece and its islands. Some of the Greek islands are as close as 2 kilometers away from the border of Turkey. Okay. According to UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. Okay. There's a rule of archipelagic waters. Archipelagic means the island. If you're having islands everywhere, this entire waters which are in between, they become your territorial waters. Means no enemy ship can come and stand here. And secondly, they're not just territorial. Of course, the EEZ, exclusive economic zone, also will be belonging to you. Okay. Now, when this negotiation was made, okay, between Turkey and Greece, so during that time, okay, Turkey was not much in power. That's why now Turkey feels that okay, you have this Recep Tayyip Erdogan. Now Erdogan feels that okay, injustice has been made to the Turkey, and Turkey has got less of EEZ and less of the resources of the continental shelf. So that's why both are into conflict. And here you have some islands which are of utmost importance. Okay, so this is a context. You can write down. And the sea between these two, okay, this is called as Aegean Sea. Right now, the Turkey and Greece have several disputes in the Aegean Sea with respect to a territorial waters. Territorial water means no country can enter into that. It is as good as territory. Means the laws are applicable there. Okay. Territorial waters. Continental shelf, extent of continental shelf. Airspace. Because if a land is yours, till 100 kilometers, the air or the land also becomes to you. That becomes your airspace. Airspace. Next, demilitarization. Demilitarization. Next point. Most of these islands are very close to Turkish borders. Very close to Turkish borders. Okay. Example, one such island is very important. Example, this island. I'll write the spelling also here. Okay. So name of the island. Written. Now, this island is very far away from Greece and just 2 kilometers away from Turkish borders. Right on. It is just 2 kilometers away from the Turkish border. This island is also called as KOS in short, KOS. KOS. And Greece is militarizing it. Greece is militarizing it. And Greece also feels that. Greece also feels that. Sorry, Turkey also feels that it met with unfair distribution in Lausanne Treaty. This treaty is also important, Lausanne Treaty. So there is one more, convention called as Montreux Convention, but that we'll discuss later. Okay, in bracket you can write down one more treaty which decides the Turkish waters is Montreux Convention. MONTREUX. Montreux Convention. This we'll discuss later. And in Turkey, Greece, you can see here the extent of the EEZ. And look at the extent of the TEZ of Turkey. It's very less as compared to Greece. Right on this point also. Turkey has disproportionate EEZ. EEZ. In the bracket, you can write archipelagic waters. Archipelagic water means the waters are located between your islands. They're called as archipelagic waters. Archipelagic waters. UNCLOS, that is United Nations Convention on Law of Seas. Turkey, Greece has disproportionate EEZ. Okay. And the agency is also rich in mineral deposits. Rich in mineral deposits. Okay. Okay, these are the islands of the Greece which have been militarized. Okay. So Turkey is saying that on our borders, just 2 kilometers away from our territorial boundaries, you're militarizing the islands. That is not okay. Okay. And recently, okay, the Erdogan also has given a warning. So when the negotiations were taking place, he said, I'm not joking, I'm telling it seriously. He told that way. Next, one more island which is important here between Turkey and Greece is the island of Lesbos. Give us a heading, Lesbos. It's also called as Militani Island, Militani. Militani Island. And Militani Strait. Militani Strait separates Lesbos with Turkey. Strait is the water divide. So here, this strait separates Turkey with Lesbos. So recently, an incident happened here. So here, because of the stormy waters, okay, a ship has been submerged. So that's why it's in the news. You can write down. Comoros flagged Raptor cargo ship. Okay, you can simply write ship, doesn't matter. Comoros flag means, the ships which will be having now, okay, they should be registered in country's name. For example, okay, you see a lot of, luxury cars in Bangalore. उसके ऊपर PY लिखा होता है. What is PY? Pondicherry. Okay, means it has been registered in Pondicherry. Now you see a lot of, this merchant navy ships, okay, they are registered in some small country names. Because if you're buying a ship there, okay, and if the ship is on that country's name, whatever money you'll be earning, okay, you have to pay very less tax. These are called as tax havens. For example, the countries like Mauritius, Comoros, Cayman Islands, etc., they have just 2% of taxes. Okay, in India, how much is the tax which you have to pay? Like corporate income tax. Now it is 15. 15 है कितना है? 15. Earlier it was 30, 35. तो बेचारे गरीब लोग उनको भी जीना चाहिए ना. So that's why reduce किया 30 से 15 reduce किया. Okay, but did you reduce the personal income tax? No, right? Okay. So that's why it's in the news. Okay, the ship sunk because of stormy waters. Right? The ship sunk because of stormy waters. So yesterday regarding Libya, okay, you come across a storm. Which storm is that? Not just Daniel, okay, not Daniels. Yeah. Next, one more issue is the issue of Cyprus. You can look at the location of the Cyprus. You can also mark it in the atlas. So this is the island of Cyprus. It's in the Mediterranean. Look at the location here. Now Cyprus is disputed between the Turkey and Greece. The south is governed by Greece. South is governed by Greece, and the north is governed by Turkey. You can draw the rough diagram here. On the north, you have Turkey. The south, you have Greece. So this is Cyprus. So this is all about the issue between the Greece and Turkey. Okay. What island? Very good. As of now, it's an island. And one of the suggestions is that it should be made a separate country also. One of the suggestions. Okay. Just now we are talking about Catalonia. Okay. So here you have Catalonia. Draw the map. So somebody in the comment section saying that Cyprus is a country only. Okay. See, I can't decide that. Okay, it is up to the world community or UN to decide whether it's a country or not. I can't comment. I told you what is a fact. North is administered by whom? South is administered by whom? That's why I use the word administered. Done? Now you see Catalonia. look at terrain here. So this hilly part of the Spain, this is called as Catalonia. So here the culture is different. The language, the kind of Spanish which is spoken is different. In fact, if you are speaking Spanish which is spoken in Madrid and coming here, they'll discriminate you. It's like that. Okay. So language is different. There's a series which I watched recently. Okay, and that this discrimination is shown a lot. One lady who comes from this part of Barcelona, and she's hiding over here. Erin Carton, something like that. Eric Cartman. Who is Eric Cartman? I guess I don't know. Some series is there. Okay. So the language is different here, and basically it is rich. Okay. Now, if you belong to a part of the country, right, where your language is different, your culture is different, okay, and the capital is here, Madrid, the capital here. Okay, you are paying all the taxes, they don't give you anything, okay, and they're subjugating you. Do you think you'll like it? What? Okay, that's why they said, "Hame chahiye azadi." But recently, what happened? Okay, from 2010 till this 2024, okay, the political group which was active was a separatist group that's demanding for independence. So recently, when the elections have happened, the separatist group it has lost the elections, and the socialist group has come, okay, which is not pro-independence of Catalonia. So that's why it is important. Okay. So if you see the US War of Independence also, there also what happened? No taxation without representation. Okay, you have seen this slogan, right? Okay. So you should be mindful, that in future, in 2026, okay, you should not be reducing the parliamentary seats of those provinces which are contributing to the taxes. Understood? Do you think it will happen in 26 now? Delimitation Commission, we have studied polity, right? Okay. Had Modi been in power with the brute majority, would have definitely done delimitation, where the seats of the South India would have been reduced and seats of the North would have been increased. तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, बाबू जीता यहाँ से कोई भी जीता, बोला साइड में जाओ भैया, आगे बढ़ो से. Okay. So that's why we should be taking cues from here. So whenever you learn the world history or world politics, how we should be applying it to India, we should be seeing that. Okay. I don't. Next point. Catalonia wants to separate from Spain because of the language. Language is called as Catalan language, Catalan. Because of language, it contributes a lot to taxes. Contributes a lot to taxes. Bracket you can write. Therefore, there's a perception of economic exploitation. Perception of economic exploitation. Next, political grievances. Political grievances. Bracket you can write. Representation is low. Change the pattern. But recently, the pro Independence Party, which was in power since 2010, has lost. Okay. So this is about the Catalonia. So next is the Canary Island. Draw this map. Canary Island. In ocean currents also you come across this Canary current. The Canary current is named after this Canary Islands. None? See, this is where you have the Canary Islands, right? And in between you have this mid-oceanic Atlantic ridge. So most of the seamounts and islands which you see here in Atlantic, they have been formed by divergent plate boundary, that is MOR. The rifting which is created here has formed these islands. But Canary Island has been formed because of hotspot activity. In a hotspot activity, the magma is sourced from core mantle boundary. It is highly fluidic in nature. Therefore, it spreads hundreds of kilometers. Okay. So the point which has to be remembered is it is not formed due to MOR. Right on. The Canary Island is not formed due to MOAR. Rather, it is a hotspot in itself. It is a hotspot in itself. Formed due to the mantle plume. Remember this word mantle plume previously? This mains based question has been asked. Mantle plume. Since the magma is sourced from deep earth interiors. Sourced from deep earth interiors. It is highly fluidic. And spreads hundreds of kilometers. Spreads hundreds of kilometers. Now, this looks like a recent picture, right? Okay, recently it had a volcanic eruption, right on? Recently, it had a volcanic eruption in La Palma Island. La Palma Island. Now look at the location of these islands. Okay. This is where you have the Canary Islands. So it's a tropical location, but because of the maritime influence, it is not that hot. In summers, okay, it is not that hot. In winters, it is not that cold. In winters, it is warm. And you have these islands. Don't you think they can become good tourist destinations? Okay. Don't you think the other countries, let's say Spain is located here, and this island is very far away from the boundaries of the Spain. So don't you think the countries of the Africa will be, wanting these islands? Okay. There is no dispute as of now, but again, a lot of migrants from these countries, they are entering these islands. So it has a refugee crisis. Right? The Canary Islands are warm in summers, and mild during winters. Therefore, they become good tourist destinations. Tourist destination. Recently, these islands are receiving influx of this Sahrawi tribe, Sahwari, influx of Sahrawi tribe. They have a country called as Western Sahara. The Western Sahara's official name is this. You can write this one. The Sahrawi tribe, they belong to, okay, Western Sahara, Morocco, Algeria, Mauritania. They belong to the west of, okay, Africa. You can write this also, Sahrawi tribe. Or in Maghreb region, you can write. Yesterday, you have learned one word, Maghreb. Sahrawi tribes belong to Maghreb region. An official name of Western Sahara is this, you can write. So recently they have been receiving a lot of people in the boats. They come here with the help of boats. After they come here, what they can do? The media will come and click the pictures. You can't even beat them. What you will do? So that's where refugee crisis is happening. And during the COVID time, okay, like not so many tourists were there. So there are so many resorts built over there. They have come and occupied all the resorts. Because the police check was also not much during the COVID crisis. So this is what happened. They were nicely enjoying in all the resorts. Pre-holiday. Okay. So next is the Balkans. So this region is called as Balkans. Anyways, you have written before, right? Balkan Peninsula. Okay. Now you will read one concept called as breaking of the Balkans. Okay. First World War. You have done world history? No, right? You read one topic called as breaking of Balkans. It becomes one of the reasons for the First World War also. That I'll not be discussing here. Okay. Now I'll be discussing the breakup of Yugoslavia. So here, what kind of questions they'll be asking is, so the sea which is located between Italy and the erstwhile Yugoslavia, this sea is called as Adriatic Sea. Okay. And the major country over here is Serbia. Okay. And Serbia has a major ethnic group called as Slavs. Okay. Slavs. And Slavs have a lineage from Russia. Okay. In Russia also the major ethnic group is Slavs. So one of the major reasons why this country broke into many pieces is the differences between Slavs and non-Slavs, or okay, the or miniature divisions within the Slavs. Okay, so if one ethnic group, okay, if it tries to dominate the other ethnic groups, it can also lead to a disintegration of the country. Yesterday only in Africa, I have seen it has given rise to numerous conflicts. It has given rise to the breakup of the countries also. So yesterday we have seen linguistic divisions also. Right? Because of the language also, the country has disintegrated. The same thing happened here in Yugoslavia. Okay. Now, going back in the history of Yugoslavia, the Yugoslavia was made up of these countries. It's called erstwhile Yugoslavia. So at that time, okay, it was the major founders of NAM also. We were reading something called as non-alignment movement. Okay. So during that time, okay, during the time of Nehru, okay, Nehru, here the president is called as Tito. Okay, and the president of Egypt called as Nasser. The president of Indonesia is called as Sukarno. These four people, these were the stalwarts. Those are the statesmen. Statesmen, you know, right? Okay, okay, हर country का okay, what leader को जाके गले मिलाना, फोटो खिंचवाना, ये नहीं करता statesman. Okay, so they were the statesmen during those time, and they were the founders of the NAM also. Okay, so the Yugoslavia was made up of, okay, numerous ethnic minorities. Okay, they had minute differences. Okay, they were Slavs only basically, but minute differences. But Tito was, okay, he was accommodative in nature. So that's why he was able to unite all these Slavs under one banner. But finally, after the death of Tito, okay, the Slovenians, Croatians, okay, and these three broke up. Okay. And next, Bosnia Herzegovina. It has around like 50% Muslim population. So Serbia was very much adamant, not give away Bosnia Herzegovina. So finally, it also got independence. Okay, it was separated. Okay, and recent country which broke up from Serbia is Kosovo. It got independence recently in the year 2008. And there was a lot of bloodshed. Okay, if you want to talk about the failures of UPSC, sorry, UPSC goes wrong. UNSC, United Nations Security Council. Now, the major failures of UNSC, if you want to talk about, because India wants a seat in the UN, permanent seat in the UN. Okay, if you want to, okay, draw upon the deficiency of UNSC, then you can talk about Kosovo also. There was a lot of bloodshed here. Now, let's relate the Kosovo issue with the Ukraine issue. Okay, let's draw the similarities here. Now, this is Kosovo. The Kosovo as, ethnic Albanians. And Serbia has Slavs. Okay, in Russia also you have Slavs. Okay, so eastern part of Russia, this part of Russia also has Russian-speaking Russian ethnic population. Okay. Now, the NATO has supported Kosovo. This is Kosovo. Saying that you have here Albanian Muslims, they don't want to be under the occupation of the Slavs. They want to get separated. And Serbia, you're not letting it get separated. So we'll be doing air raids, we'll separate that part. We'll liberate that part. Okay. So replace NATO with Russia and Kosovo with Ukraine. Eastern part of the Ukraine. Same thing, right? If NATO does it, USA does it, it is right. Okay. And if Russia is doing it, it's wrong. Okay. हमारा प्यार प्यार है और तुम्हारा प्यार मोहब्बत है. Okay. Right. There's a saying, na, famous saying. Right. So you can relate these two. That's why in this context, Kosovo also becomes important. And recently, the Kosovo has been facing a lot of unemployment problem also because it is landlocked. Okay, it is administered on its own, but it should be having its own source of income, right? No industries over there. Okay, so unemployment is very high over here. So that's why also it's in the news. Okay, that's why Kosovo becomes important. You can write down. Okay, you can draw this diagram of Yugoslavia. The countries which were part of Yugoslavia. Okay, you can draw this. Last diagram you can draw. The countries which were part of erstwhile Yugoslavia. Anyways, like, what is that? World history is also there in the syllabus, right? In that, you have done this. But again, world history, they are asking any kind of question. Despite, reading, so many NCRTs and so much of notes also, it has something which is, which is not there in textbook at all, such as Meiji Restoration, which happened in Japan, like that. Anyways, you should be knowing these kind of things because these are related to today's politics also, current day politics also. Don't draw all the maps, not required. So Albania is near to it. Albania is not part of Yugoslavia, write it specifically. Albania is not part of Yugoslavia. So in this, write about the ethnicities also. Kosovo is 90% Muslims, Albanian Muslims. Albanian Muslims. That's around 5% Slavs. 5% Slavs. Bosnia-Herzegovina. Bosnia-Herzegovina. 50% Muslims. And rest are Christians. But again, in Christians also they have differences. The Catholic Christians, Orthodox Christians, there are numerous differences in Christianity also. And rest are all Christian. The Bosnia-Herzegovina, remember, 50% Muslim population. That's the reason why it's shown in the green, I guess. I don't know. Because see, Yugoslavia, Serbia. Serbia has affiliation with USSR. What's the color of USSR? Communist red color. So whenever they're using the colors, they'll be having some hidden meaning also. That's why whenever I use colors in the class also, I use colors for a specific reason. I don't. Okay, short note on Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia was formed after the First World War, comprising of various ethnic groups. Such as Serbs, Croats, 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 Slovenes, etc. Tito was accommodative and able to unite all of them under one banner. So because of these people, okay, the great nations are able to stand. So one of the major reasons why India is able to stay united is because of Nehru. Okay, because in between, okay, like any idiot did not come into power. Okay, if such kind of idiot, continues to rule the country for a longer time, okay, it will lead to disintegration. Also, we have been seeing it in the world. Apply that to India also. Person who divides people on the name of religion, okay, etc. They will break the countries. After the death of Tito, the ethnic divisions magnified because of ongoing inflation, unemployment, and hyperinflation. Sorry, inflation, unemployment, okay, and poverty. This led to the demand for more autonomy and secession. The tensions aggravated when Russian-backed president committed numerous atrocities. Especially in Kosovo. Basically, it's in a Christian-Muslim divide. Okay. Change para. Kosovo had become independent country in 2008. Kosovo gained complete independence, right? Because from 2000 itself it was independent, but it gained complete independence in 2008. But it is yet to be recognized. Yet to be recognized by many countries. And there are many parallels between Kosovo and the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. So anyways, Kosovo has been separated, right? Now, one more region which is demanding independence, okay, it's already autonomous. This is Vojvodina. Remember this name, draw this map fast. You don't have to draw the exact maps, not required. Okay, do this now. This is Serbia. This is Vojvodina. Okay. Vojvodina is already autonomous because these kind of names will be asked in UPSC. They have been asking frequently. Already autonomous. It might demand for independence. Okay. So next location which is in the news is okay on this part. Okay, you can open the atlas also. See, after going home, please mark these locations in the atlas as well. This part. So this is the UK here. This is Denmark. And here you have Norway. You have 3 islands here. Can you see the 3 islands? And don't you think this island should be belonging to UK? But this island wants to join Norway. Okay. This island already belongs to UK. And this island belongs to Denmark. Okay. Because recently UK has been in the news because of the great Prime Minister of the world, Rishi Sunak. Okay. There have been a lot of issues of immigration, Brexit, etc. They're also happening. So that's why it's in the news. That's why it should be known news. Okay. Already till 2016. Okay. The northern part of the this England wanted to get separated. Don't talk. Kisko jana hai ke jao. जुम्मे की नमाज जाना है किसी को? जाओ, don't talk. So northern part of the England, okay, this is Scotland, okay. Till 2016, there was a separatist movement in Scotland also. Now, this part wants to break away. It wants to join Norway. This already belongs to UK, and this belongs to. Draw this map. Now, tell me, these islands are volcanic in nature or they are continental in nature? Hmm? Because whenever you'll be having island, you'll think that it's volcanic in nature. Okay. Now, Shetland Island, this is complex. There's a mixture of various things. So, this island is volcanic in nature, and this has been formed by MOAR. Okay. And this Onki Island, this is continental, pure continental. No basalt and all. This is complex. It's a mixture of various things. So not all the islands are volcanic in nature. They are continental also. They are sometimes coral also. They are volcanic also. And Ron, write down one point here. The Orkney Island wants to join Norway. And it's a major blow to UK. Now look at the divisions of UK here. United Kingdom. Now see the topography, you'll understand the divisions. Northern part you see, okay, this, okay, it's a hilly part over here. It's called as Scotland, okay. It's also the icy part, okay. They're also called as Northerners, okay. And what is the symbol? Werewolf. Wolf is the symbol, okay. Now, this is where the capital is, King's Landing, right? This is where the Iron Islands are there. So basically, the entire Game of Thrones, okay, it has been drawn from UK map only, okay. And these are the Dawn, what is that? Dawn and other states are there, right? So it has got various divisions and it's based on geography. You can see the hilly part over here. This is called as Wales, and the plain part in between. This is all. This is called as England, and the northern part over here. This is called as Scotland, and this part. This is called as Northern Ireland. Okay. The four combined, it is called as UK, and this Scotland, England, and Wales, it is called as Great Britain. You can draw this. If you know, it's fine. If you don't know, it wrong. Are you all familiar with this? So geography decides your ethnicity. And Shetland Island, it belongs to Scotland. It's in the province of Scotland. And if Scotland separates, okay, Shetland will also go to Scotland. The UK will be losing all. And those islands over there, so since, all those islands are very important for fishing because they're in the North Sea. And what are the fishing banks of the North Sea called as? Dodger banks at this point there in the islands. The Faroe Islands, Orkney Islands, and Shetland Islands are important for fishing. Fishing in the North Sea. And they're called as Dodger banks, D-O-G-G-E-R, Dodger banks. So this area is rich in fish. This is called as Dodger banks. And whosoever takes these islands, they also have the access to the fishing. Okay. All four combined is UK, United Kingdom, Scotland, England, Wales. It's called as Great Britain. And till 2016, there was a separatist movement in Scotland. Scotland, Ireland, and Wales. Three are not happy with Brexit. Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Wales not happy with Brexit.
Not happy with what?
Brexit. Britain is exiting from EU, right? European Union. That's called as Brexit. And Northern Ireland, in fact, entire Ireland is like a pure Catholic. Don't write the word pure, but they are like, extreme Catholic. Catholic may be सबसे ऊपर. That's why there was a time when, the abortions were completely banned in, they're so conservative. We can write conservative Catholics. Conservative Catholics. That's why they're extremely fair. Extremely fair. You won't, if you're walking on a beach, you won't be able to differentiate. It's a sand or Irish woman. You can step on any one of them. That fair. So rest of the things we'll discuss after the break, okay?